Okay, good morning everybody. I'm Gary Walker. I am the owner of Green Tree Arborist Tree Service and Exquisite Garden Design. We are out, as you can see, pan around my friend a little bit, in a beautiful valley in North County, San Diego, with an abundance of California pepper trees. So there are well over 80 trees on this property that have not been professionally laced out ever. So I'm going through this project today. I usually start rough cutting with my chainsaw, and then I'll come back with my pole saw and then do all the fine cuts. So we'll just walk down here and we'll survey some of the work that I've already done this morning. So these are really adolescent trees. They're around 10 to 15 feet tall. Eventually the pepper trees will get as big as those over there and even bigger. They're around 40 feet tall. The pepper tree is a extremely hardy variety of tree planted ubiquitously all over Southern California and on the freeways because they are so attractive, low maintenance, water-wise, and easy to care for. So these are just some of the trees that we've been working on this morning. You can see all the debris on the ground. When I cut, I try to work with the architecture of the tree going upward and outward. Also being an artist, I try to bring my artistic perspective to any tree that I lace out, along with my empirical knowledge and understanding of trees to do the proper thing botanically for the tree. Standard rule of thumb when lacing a tree out is removing approximately 30% of the tree's mass, working from the inside out and from the crown down, and removing crisscrossing branches, suckers, diseased wood, water sprouts, etc. I do little to no blunt cutting of the tips because that causes excessive sucker growth and can lead to a top-heavy tree. So these trees have already been roughed out really nicely. To get an idea of what these looked like before, we're going to pan over to those. And that's what these looked like a few hours ago. So I'm going to go over there and thin those out. So in fact, I'm going to go ahead and start my chainsaw, and my trusty cameraman will follow me. So it's going to be a little bit noisy and you'll get to see me in action. Okay, now because these trees have never been laced out, you notice that I'm trimming from the bottom up. So I'm revealing the trunks of the trees. Most of these have multiple trunks coming out of the terminal leader, the basal root node, a single shank splitting into 2, 3, 4 or more leaders as it grows up and out. So I'm removing all the excess sucker growth, conflicting branches up to about shoulder or head height, and limbing it up so I can reveal the trunk, and then I'll go through later with my pole saw and I'll thin out all the roughage here, so that when this is done, standing here, it will look beautifully laced out like a work of art. But when you stand 100 or 200 feet away, it will not look as though it's been trimmed or pruned. So if you see a tree that's been trimmed or pruned from 100 or 200 feet away, that's a very strong sign that that tree has been grossly or excessively over-pruned. Over-pruning is a very serious problem with a lot of people that trim trees, or sometimes even the homeowners that insist that the trimmer trim more out of it, or just unwittingly don't know what they're getting, which is what I hear from a lot of my clients. The guy came over, gave me an estimate, and he said, I'm going to trim your trees, without giving a detailed explanation. When I go on estimates or consultations, I basically go tree for tree and almost limb for limb. I explain all the different techniques thoroughly, and I give full disclosure. So that would be anything from crown reduction or topping, which is very radical procedure, where the tree looks like a bunch of nubs for the first 3 to 6 months till it fluffs out, to artistic lacing, to complete removals, the basic procedures such as that. So I explain them in great detail. Then I let my client make an informed decision. So I'm finding this is the best way to go, less controversy or questioning at the end of the process. That way the client knows exactly what they're getting. And so I think that's probably it for now. And maybe we'll make another short video in a little bit. Thank you. We're going to trim some more of this tree, and we're going to go into the middle of this tree. So we're going to open up the middle. So these branches, anything that's going into the middle of the tree and is not adding to the canopy in a symmetrical, artistic way, is going to come out. Crisscrossing branches, suckers, water sprouts, dead wood, diseased wood, that type of stuff. You probably see two really large tan-colored suckers, and those are vertical suckers coming right out of the basal root node of the tree. Those are going to come out. Any vertical conflicting line that goes against the natural upward outward thrust of the tree is going to come out. So we're going to get to work on this now and just clean this up a little bit. Then I'll come in later with my pole saw and fine tune it. Okay, so now we're going to go in here and we're going to clean this tree out. We're going to rough cut it. And I'll come back later and I'll fine tune it with a pole saw. Here we go. So Jameson pole, retractable blade. I'm going to take the blade off, put the pole down. So I'm just going to work from the ground with this really sharp saw. And we're just going to do some fine grooming or fine tuning, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to clean this tree up a little bit more from here. Again, I like to follow the natural lines of the tree and accentuate them. And I think that, you know, this tree is pretty well done, and you may want to get a hand shot of that all the way. I don't know, but it certainly is a big transformation. It's a big change from what this tree was just a short while ago. It was a big mess, a blob of branches, a confused maelstrom of conflicting lines due to the branches, and now, as you can see, the tree flows beautifully and it's opened up. It's botanically correct. Light and air pass through it, particularly air, because in big windstorms, when a tree is not laced out, and that's one of the reasons we lace out trees, particularly bigger trees, because the bigger the tree is, it's like a sail on a mast, on a schooner, on a ship. So the taller the tree is and the more leaves it has, the more wind it catches. The more wind it catches, the more it sways. So if you have we get a high wind event with a lot of moisture and soil saturation, And because here in Southern California we have contracting expansive soil, a lot of caliche, so that when it's dry it contracts and is hard like concrete, but when it gets wet it expands and then it loosens its grip on the roots, in particular the anchor roots. So you have a lot of rain like we will get in a short amount of time here, then you have a wind event like we had recently, in which hundreds of trees fell down within a one-day period with 50 to 70 mile-an-hour gusts. The taller the tree, that can tip over a tree very easily, literally by the roots. You'll just see like a ship tipping up, and you'll just see the keel. Same thing will happen to a tree. So one way to prevent that from happening and get in front of it is to lace the tree out. Again, roughly 30% plus or minus rule. That allows wind to penetrate through the sail, as it were, so that it doesn't resist the wind that much. So I think that's pretty much it for now. This tree is cleaned up pretty well. And thanks for watching.